Hey guys, it's KTV here. Now, earlier I did the modification of the generic unbranded disco nuts and now rewired them to make them all work together. So, yep, that's one thing. They're working. At the moment they have incandescents in, so it needs to be changed. However, I will be getting smart LEDs in, remote controlled disco light type things in. Smart ones. Next, we have this Soundlab thing. This is a Soundlab disco light set for 6 RAT E27 40 watt bulbs. And as I've said before, they don't make these anymore, these incandescent reflectors. Therefore, we need to do an alternative that will work for them. So, this one is strange. This one is a mess, and always hated it since I've had it because that is trash. Look at that one, and look at this. And what's strange, you've got these plug sockets on them, these foreign things. You'll think they're toothbrush chargers. I have a toothbrush plug, and these are plug sockets for the lights, and they do not, it doesn't fit. Whatever this is stupid. So what you do is you plug them in, you'll plug them all in, and the thing would work. So there you go. Not much to them. And we have electronics in our way. For incandescents, this was fine because it would control them, but when it comes to LEDs, this is not compatible and it does not work. It would be cool to have music activation, but it just doesn't work. I don't know if this is the exact motherboard inside this one. Something very similar probably, because it doesn't work with LEDs either. That was the one out of that one over there. So yeah, let's take it upstairs to the workshop and get it modified, shall we? Okay, now we're up here. I want to have a look, so I want to take this little front plate off and these 4 screws here, because I need to find a way to get into the thing so I can access where these are plugged in. Hopefully these are just connected up with simple, hopefully, I'm not saying, but hopefully there's terminal blocks in here, because if I can use them they would be amazing. But if not, we've got plenty of our own ones laying about from old projects. And I'll probably use the really fat ones again, although they're a bit overrated, they just seem to capacitise more. So I think that's just a decorative front plate, that bit of plastic, so we take it off and see what happens. Oh yay, beautiful! You've got the whole, this is beautiful, this one. Right, so what do we have here? We have a slightly different motherboard, I can tell you that. Right, so there's the front of it, so it's almost like a sliding drawer mechanism. It all slides in to it. Right, so I can see some unnecessary components in the front already. There's some, I think it's a microphone, because on the other one there was a microphone on the other board. And there isn't one here. I'll give you a closer look at that. The other one had a microphone on the board, which is downstairs. This is a slightly different motherboard. However, the same idea, you've still got your transistors here, slightly different ones, and your capacitors, and all your resistors look pretty much the same. This is probably some very similar Chinese board, and you have your 2 chips. I'm not sure if they're the same, I'll check them in a minute. Right, so let's take the front off then. This one's going to be a bit more, this one's a bit more interesting by the sound looks of it. Let's take the front plate off. There's 2 screws again, so that's the same as the other one, so I'm guessing these are very similar cheap Chinese products. So I'm not going to bother taking that rim out because I'm rewiring the whole thing anyway. However, I do want the rim of the sockets because I'm going to want to drill a hole into it to get all my new, or holes to get my new wires through. So I'm going to have to use the drill a little bit on this one. It's not going to be as simple as, right, you rewire it. Right, so let's get a flathead under here. Yep, and here we are. Right, this one's a little bit more restrictive, this one. So there's a microphone here, which we don't need anymore, so this thing as a whole can come out, and we can get rid of that. We don't need it anymore. However, let's just see what's going on here. Let's try and see. Right. So, yes. The pins are soldered to the board. So, I'm going to have to... This motherboard is providing its own voltage to them. So I'm going to have to wire these directly in. So I'm going to have to get my soldering iron, unsolder all this, so I can reinstall these plugs, so I can simply drill through them. I know this is some heavy duty metal connection, guys, but my god, I have never seen something that has this much solder on. Like the solder dispenser literally spits out a load of solder as I do it. So if I put this on here, you notice all the tiny bits that it's picking out. It really is trying to pick out. I'm trying to separate the metal from the board so I'm able to pull this thing off, because I want this space and it's attached to the motherboard, and I don't want the motherboard anymore. Yes, I could put the motherboard in there, but valuable space. Why put something in there that you've deactivated? So let's put the soldering iron out to do this, and somewhere where you guys can see it, because I want you guys to be able to see the premise as well. There we go, you better see it there, won't you? Melt the solder down nice, and it needs to be separated from the board. I don't care if there's excess solder on the metal contacts, it's the solder on the board. Because if there's solder on the board, that's going to stop us from picking it up later. And I want to be able to pick this out in one clean go, but I don't see this is going to happen. So let's just try. Okay, don't care about down there. If I could extract this solder to reuse it for another component, that would be beautiful. Right, let's see what happens now. And the solder's so strong to the point where I haven't got anywhere. Let's try. Right, that one's been lifted up, this one's separated. One of them's been successfully separated. You've been separated. You're separated, I think. You're separated. You're now separated. Right, this should be on its verge of coming out now, because the motherboard has been separated. It doesn't matter if I damage the components of this, because I'm not going to be using this in this project. I'm not going to be using these plugs again, whatever these foreign substandard Soundlab plugs are. I don't know what they are, but I can promise you guys they won't be being used again. That's where I want to put my soldering iron. Pull the solder out of that, because that's what it's sticking to. In theory, because I've cut the wire, when I get this out, this should just all drop on me and come straight out, but it doesn't want to budge easy, does it, guys? Oh yeah, this end one's bastard. Right, so I've separated this from the motherboard. Or if there's an easy way to take them out, like that. There you go, just snap them up, they're not even usable anymore. Right, we have the front component. Next, we've got to take this off and drill a hole through it so I can run wire through it. So I've taken the plugs out, they just come in terminals on a PCB. Okay, that's out, the motherboard is free, and I'm saving this because I want them capacitors and resistors off it. And the microphone's actually quite a good save. to be honest with you. It seems quite like a good quality microphone, I'm not going to lie. Come on, strip, you bastard. This is why I don't agree with these tools, guys. These stupid... These side cutters are good, but when they're used for stripping like 2.5 cable, we do that in college and it's just horrible. If I could film a video in college, I'll see if I can, because why not? But at the same time, if I show you the electrical thing, I'll show you the cutters and how we cut the wire and how it's... I don't agree with it, it's just... I use my good old 30-year-old strippers, wire strippers from my granddad. And yeah, so we have our mains cable. I'm considering whether to rewire this or just replace the plug. I think I'm going to replace the plug because it is a little bit tacky and old. However, I'm going to go outside because it's night time and I'm going to drill through. I'm going to drill 6 big holes in the front of this thing so the wire can go through securely. That size will be okay. We just need to go through 6 times by each plug into this board, so let's do it now. Might want advice in the future. I didn't cut myself badly, but the bit just kind of come out the drill and just kind of spun round and hit my hand and it hurts a bit, so yeah. That's something to consider for the future, but we've got nowhere to mount it here, sadly. I've made my holes, they're not the clearest, but if the wire goes through I don't care. You won't really be seeing the back. So let's start by getting this big bundle of joy organised. So we need to see what wire goes to what light. You go there right away. I don't know what you would use these for. Like, I don't know what they would plug into. It's some weird foreign Yin Yu, very British brand. Right, well, let's just have quite a decent splice of wire left so I can keep the lights, and it's blue and brown, so I'm going to cut off that foreign end. And I'm going to wire a 13 amp plug to this because this is 3 amp black, brown and blue wire, which is good for UK electric, and I'm getting quite a decent length for this, especially when this is all together. I'm actually going to get quite a decent length. You don't need to go that far either, do you? Cut you back. Cut the foreign plug off, which we don't need. So, more wire. More decent, reasonable size. Wait, don't just undo this a minute. And now you can separate and see where the wires are actually going. And there's a massive hurdle. I mean, this is stupid. Whoever designed this is ridiculous. I mean, come on. It's a DJ light. It's not wire hurdle. I never used to use this one that much because of the amount of wires that used to hang to the back of it. It used to just be horrendously long. Take the stupid foreign plug off. I don't know if it is a foreign plug, because I know they use these 2 prong plugs in Europe, but I'm not sure on the pin diameter. It probably would go into my shaver socket, however. It probably would get into my MK shaver socket at the back, however I don't want to damage that or blow any fuses out on my circuit today, so I'm not going to be doing that for my own sake. Decent length of wire, cut, foreign plug, cut it. This wire is not being thrown away, guys, this is going into my scrap tray to use for future projects. So that goes there, foreign plug off. So we have, oh, there's still a couple more. How many is there? Right, there's one more. Okay. So, good length. Okay, straight back. And the foreign plug gets cut off, or whatever that is. I don't know what that is. Well, I have a good pile of wire now. This is the mains lead. That's a decent length, however that plug's a bit old and a bit battered, so I'm going to replace that. Probably with this thing here, classic 5 stars, whatever. It's a plug at the end of the day. So let's start stripping this. I'm going to strip this, then I'll come back to you. Okay, so we have 7 neutrals and 7 lights, one of them being the mains plug. So I've got all the wire through here, and I'm going to get some hot glue and I'm going to glue this so there's no insulation showing. So the soldering is heating up. I'm using my good old, because I love this brand, Amtech. I'm using my Amtech soldering iron for a change. It's heating up now, and I'm going to solder this wire, and I'm going to put all the lives together, locate the switch lives. I'm probably going to do the lives when I'm inside the unit. However, first I've just got a few aesthetic issues. While I'm at it, I'll be putting that white classic plug on that I said I would do in the time now. While the solder is heating up, I'll start wiring the plug. So my hot glue gun's also heating up as well. So let's get redoing this plug, shall we? So I'm going to take the old plug off, standard cheap one. Okay, so I'll be back soon. Okay, the solder iron's heating up again. I'm trying to get the strands of copper all together. This isn't the power, this is the live. These are all the lives for the light, because obviously this is going to be a switch live, because it does have a switch on the front, and I can reuse that. That component can be reused to turn the device on and off. So, just plugging my solder iron down, guys. I have a little DIY extension aid that I made out of some cheap bootleg components, but I absolutely love the thing. I made it for about 50p, but I absolutely love the thing. It is such an amazing little extension lead. It's only got one plug, and I think it's formed out of a perma plug thing, if I remember correctly. Perma plug or MK socket on it, a substandard 1 gang extension lead rewirable socket, not a plug, as in the plugs I would normally use for my projects. And yeah, it's a nice little lead that can be used for tools like the soldering iron when you need it. So it is a lovely little piece of kit for how cheap I've made it. There's a little view of it there, which just has a plug on the other end. It's plugged into the sockets at the back of my room. Yes, I have ones at my bed, above my bed, and at the back of the room. That's just kind of the first socket I saw, so I thought, yeah, whatever. Right, and they're all together now, so I've got to get a terminal block to isolate that, and we have our new plug as well. Sadly, I made a mistake. I managed to do the wires all around here, so I can actually put it back together. One tip I like to share about soldering quickly is when you're soldering, you need to let the iron melt the wire that's coming in, and I don't mean you put the soldering iron and you melt your solder. You need to allow the iron to heat up the cores of the wire, the actual wire you want to solder. Then you put the soldering iron on the, you put the solder on the wire. This way, the solder will sink in to the cores of the wire, and it will make a super strong connection. I'm just getting them because I want to twist them to make a good connection. The live from the mains we plugged in at the top of the terminal block. However, I'm just taking all of them, all of the light ones, and plugging them in, and you'll see how I solder it, so you get a good length of solder. What I like to do is start with it, however when it gets hot enough, do we have a good, so we get a better view of that, shall we? Let's give you a better view. I'm using the good old handy cam. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. So you'll notice that the solder will heat in to it. Ah, you stupid tripod. Right. Okay, now you'll notice the wire will heat in. So your wire, your solder will melt. There you go, it's doing it now. It will melt into the contacts of the metal. Then I just like to stroke the soldering iron, just like you stroke a cat or dog. I like to stroke the soldering iron along my wire so I can get a lovely, decent connection. Remember, that will be hot, so don't touch it for a little bit. So we have our neutral. Oh no, forgot to put one of the lights on. Right, well, that can be, that isn't a problem, as that can still be added. Ah, that's really hot. I kind of forgot how hot soldering was wire there. Or I could just do simple this, I'll just plug it into the top. This little one's just stupid and it just sits round. So we just, you cool now? You good? It's a little bit hot, but it's bearable. Right, now we just got to get the solder and let that sink onto it. Stroke the iron. that will melt that nice and strong. There we go. A decent. Maybe a little bit down this side. There you go. Be a nice decent connection now. We'll wrap it onto a bit of electrical tape as well. I finally got to the good progress. I'm in and I got the panel so it closes. Yes, there is some secondary sleeving showing. I'm going to push that through and use some hot glue on that to tighten that together, because we can't have secondary sleeving out. So that's really bad. That's really bad electrical practice, that is. So I'm currently screwing the back of the product together. We're done over here. We just got to pour this through, let the glue dry in the holes of where these stupid, oh, I knew that was going to happen, where these stupid foreign plugs were meant to go. I don't know what they were, guys. If any of you know, I'll give you a good show. If any of you know what they are in the contacts, what they are, please could you put in the comments what they are. And where's that screw gone? Because of all this junk, I can't seem to find it. Oh, come on. Where is it? Here we go, here we go. Something fell for it. Oh, there we go. And we've got our wire in. So we've got to get this secondary sleeving so it is not showing. Nice and productive so it doesn't show. Then we've got to get our hot glue gun and fill the holes out. So the glue, the secondary sleeving will not show under any circumstances, as it is a break of electrical regulations to have it showing on electrical products. I know some builders do it. They don't want to spend money on their tools. That's why they say with a builder, if you want to do it, then if your appliance gets faulty to that point, you need to rewire the whole appliance. But a lot of builders will just disregard it or stick electrical tape around it. Well, to be honest, the electrical tape one I can partially agree with, as long as it isn't touching the contacts, because my glue gun, the thing melted and made a little notch in the wire, and as a result the secondary seam was showing but none of the live wires were showing, so I just kind of put that on there as a way of doing it, if you know what I mean. Just an easy way, instead of rewiring the whole glue gun, just did that. It's safe, it's not shocked anyone, it's a nice tight electrical safe connection. And yeah, right, so we're going to let this dry, then I'm ready for round 2 of it after testing that, because I've got a logo to put on it as well. The glue has dried and we're inside, and the logos, I'm going to make them in a minute. I just have some paint drying because I'm going to put KTV mods on it. However, I just need to, it's a matter of getting the components together, getting this pushed together, and you can see that has been pushed in there. So we have to get our screws. We can use default ones, however these are a bit rusted, but okay, they're not really seen, to be honest with you. So if they go in there, that is, yep, they did. This needs to be covered because this is a little hole where you can get 240 volts. You don't want a 240 volt electrical shock. That's 240 volts. It's dangerous, high voltage. However, just for now, I have 6 bulbs loaded in, 4 incandescents, 1 TFL, 1 halogen. And let's just do the honours of the thing, because when this gets to smart bulbs, it will obviously be smart and it will have an effect. But at the moment, all 6 of them go light up. So let's just do our little test. Just plug it in, and hooray! All 6 of them are working when you press the switch, just like that other one that I've done in the last video. This one was more intense. And also, when this one was working, I can't find one that stupid motherboard has went, so I was just fiddling about with it. Right. Sorry guys, I just can't just need to find out where that thing went. Oh, whatever. Well, what happened was this used to bounce in a bouncing pattern. You used to listen to music and it would kind of bounce up to the beat, do this, do that. However, this one failed. It wasn't moving when you turned it. They could go back in there for effect, but I'm not going to bother. And yeah, it's this one failed. So this was bouncing and it was working, and it wasn't listening to music properly either. So it wasn't listening to music properly. It wasn't doing this, it wasn't doing that. It basically wasn't working properly, let's put it that way. So the new music was playing, these bulbs were bouncing, this one was on all the time because electronics failed. And yeah, this doesn't involve any electronics, this is just a simple piece of wiring. This is, so yeah, when this gets a smart bulb I'll do an upgrade on both of them. However, let's fetch a logo, shall we? Let's go make the logo. Also, I'd just like to say that is the wire that I've pulled off the back of that device, them disco lights. So I've cut all this out and now look at the back. Look at how beautiful that is. How much nicer that is to organise. That is so much better, that really is. All this wire, and I like this 2-core black stuff as well, so I've got myself some use for future projects as well. So yeah, I'm going to go downstairs and show you the other one. And yeah, also we've got our logo, KTV Mods. So yeah. Okay, so the lights are up. They're not in their original form, I would say. They've been modified. There they are. So what am I planning? I'm planning to have colour changing bulbs across the right of these and some still colour ones. So on one of them I'm going to put in a Bluetooth speaker bulb. There is a dial one there with a Bluetooth speaker in. However, I want a colour one, so I'm going to do that on one of them, and the other one will have some different stuff. So I've got a lot of stuff planned for this to give the ambient effect. That one's working off a moulded on plug, because this one got rewired fully. This one's just had its plug replaced. So I think while we're at it, well, we can't get that much of an ambience yet. The least we can do, we connect to a dial speaker bulb. We can turn the lights out and get some music going. Sorry guys. Obviously that'd be providing a better ambience when they're done. We'll do a video when they're done. However, this is what they're doing now. I'm trusting this to use my dial bulb, because with the electronics I couldn't do it. It probably damaged the bulb, to be honest with you, due to the electronic safety, due to the electronics damaging stuff. So it just wouldn't work, it would damage too much. So yeah, these incandescent bars have to get, because there's a putrid burning smell going around with them spotlights, and I've got a feeling it's them spotlights and anything. When it's LED it won't happen. I've tried them with LEDs and it's fine, so it's nothing to do with the wiring. And there are some colour change bulbs in there already. You can see this is the type of ambience we're going for. We're going to get disco lights in there, they're going to be quite ambient when they're done. For their modification purpose, for what they used to be and what they used to do, they were going obsolete. These have a future, especially if I want to party with some friends in the future. So yeah, these lights will definitely be seeing a future. So yeah, that just wraps about this video. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. Just remember to peace out. And that's it.